The Halo universe is filled with wonder, mystery, and fascinating discoveries around every corner. With so much to explore, four friends decided it was about time that they booted up their consoles and discussed this universe that has grabbed their attention since childhood. JumperScape Audio kindly welcomes you to join them in the library.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the library. This is where we talk about Halo lore. I'm Austin.
I'm Shane.
I'm Connor.
Welcome.
It's
Great to have you here. I hope
James
that
is dead.
Yeah. Well, he's not. I mean, he's just a plushie today.
Jim has joined us today.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Welcome to the show. We very much enjoy you being who you are.
And the fact that you listen, it's cool.
I suppose that's true.
It's moderately cool, yeah.
Anyway, so last week you joined us for an awesome interview with Mantic Games, Ronnie Renton, CEO and founder. And if you didn't listen to that, you should go back and listen to it because it was a great conversation. So easy to interview because Ronnie just loves to talk.
I also learned a few things about tabletop gaming.
Yes, a lot of things. I'm actually really excited about hopefully getting you turned on to it because it's actually, why are you falling, Mr. Stan?
I saw that out of my peripheral. I'm like, what is going on over there?
It's just falling. That's all. It's just falling.
No, he had cool stuff to say, and he had a lot of I didn't know all the other board games he created. Like, didn't he do an Assassin's Creed one or an Assassin's Creed What Is Coming?
It's coming.
That's what it was.
Mantic Games has been behind. It's been around for 15, 20 years.
I after the episode, I did a little bit of research. I'm like, oh, this guy's doing numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big company. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was small business. I didn't know the scale of what he was doing. But I knew what he was because we had talked about it. But he's a big guy.
Not just anyone can collaborate with 343. The last time that we had a tabletop company collaborate with 343, they got raided by the FBI. So we're
what?
A whole different story.
I kind of want to talk about that.
No, we got other stuff to talk about, such as Halo Forward Unto Dawn and Halo Nightfall. This is the library's definitive opinions on it, and also our definitive recap of the movies. We have a fun way of doing recaps around here, and the fact that they're horribly informal, so it'll be a great time. Connor, you've never seen these movies.
It's just outed.
I'm pretty sure we've watched it at some point in time.
You sat there and you've watched a little bit of Forward Unto Dawn with me.
Okay.
When Forward Unto Dawn first came out, Austin was at my house when we were super young, and
just wee lads.
Yeah, and we watched it live at my house, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you guys got,
wow.
This bangs.
You guys got Forward Unto Dawn. I just look forward to Dawn.
Can we fire him? Can we?
I don't. Is that even an option? He comes over to my house anyway. Hey, by the way, speaking of the studio just being kind of my house in a way, drop a comment if you think it'd be cool to move the studio. Just let me know.
We can make it happen.
We could.
We're gonna try, maybe. Depending.
Anyway, regardless of your opinion.
Saying, why do you say so or not? We're gonna try anyway.
I hope you're not too attached to this place.
It'd be weird if you guys were.
Would it?
A little.
I don't know if it would, because
it'd be nostalgic to look back at some of the videos and be like, man, I miss that. But if we move offices, the new spot could be really cool, and we could do some really neat. Yep, I'm there. Neat stuff there.
Today, Junior.
Today, Junior. All right, so before we get started, as always, we got to get a couple things out of the way for you guys to know about. So, JumperScape.com, that's where you can get plugged into the Discord. This is where you can support us on Patreon and Coffee. Just go check that out. It has all the links there. You'll be able to find it easily. Also, check out Chatternet. That is currently going on daily still. Circle 9 just kicked off this week, and we do.
Just like
we do. Yes. And with Chatternet being a thing, it's going to be a great time. It will continue to be a great time. We've got 14 different hosts doing 14 different segments, including us here. We all have our own shows.
Yep. I do the slush.
I love how you're not even going to explain what that is.
External gaming.
I was hoping you were just going to leave it there. Just he does the slush.
I didn't. People tuning in for the first time. Okay.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Tuning in for the first time this far in.
I mean, I guess I'll plug. I guess
people do that with.
I guess I will plug Unlocked and Loaded. We talk about achievements in the Halo franchise.
Yeah. And I'm just the guy that finishes the show. That's all that I am. I'm nothing more, nothing less. I used to be more than that. I didn't want to be, though. I liked doing this. This was my thing. So, folks, it's great to have you watching this, but if you really want some more consistent Halo content, because we've had some people in the Discord recently join in and be like, I just finished binge watching all bajillion episodes of the library, and I don't know what to watch next. I'm lost. I go to work. There's no library. I wake up. There's no library. And I'm just like, I mean, there's a daily dose. You just go to Chatternet, listen to that. Chatternet Daily Halo Radio. Soon coming to YouTube still. We're still working out those little details because it's how do you turn a radio into a YouTube video? You know what I'm saying? But aside from that one, we do have another thing that's currently going on. A sponsorship with Glitch Energy, spelled with a Y. Go to glitchenergy.com and use the code Connor141. That's spelled
CONNOR141.
That's it. Get a little nice discount, and then also you'll get us a little bit closer to getting a solid partnership with them that'll allow us to maybe someday get our own little special flavor. We can all work together as a community to make something happen there. We could probably come up with a vote or something. Make it entertaining,
Yeah, well, we could. I'm trying to think how we should go about doing that. Like, should we just have people just mail us names, and then we choose a top 3 that we really like, and then we pull the top 3 that we like?
I mean, I probably wouldn't go so far as to require a mail-in. I'll probably just
something along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, I get not necessarily that, because that could be a bit of a process. Because we could literally just go into the Discord and be like, hey, shoot us some of your favorite names, and we'll write all of them down, get them all spread out here. And we're like, yep, that one, and that one. We'll pull all 3 of them.
And I just had it confirmed. For those of you who are interested in maybe meeting us in person.
Oh.
Yeah. April 26th. That is a Saturday. Meet us in Richmond, Virginia at the Answer Brew Pub, because we're going to be there for an event to celebrate the launch of We Like to Have Fun beer.
That's so crazy. We're getting our own beer. We're getting our own alcoholic beverage.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm so excited for it.
Of course, it's a place that it is, we're not going to be encouraging people getting drunk or anything. So it'll still be a nice formal time, a nice entertaining time with Halo LAN party stuff going on. They have tons of consoles and a lot of copies of Halo.
And a few other things that we have yet to decide on what we're going to do there.
Indeed.
Have some discussing.
Yes.
Yes. And last thing to address. For those of you who are listening to this episode right now, maybe you're like, why can't I see them? Because I'm used to seeing them. My friend, if you were watching this on Spotify, you might have realized a little while ago that Spotify has a problem with audio on video sometimes. And so what we're doing is we're giving Spotify a little bit of time to just chill out.
Fix itself.
Yeah. We're giving them until the start of season 5 of the library, or season 4? Season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5.
I was gonna say it's 5.
Season 5 of the library.
Oh man, that's insane.
Kicking off season 5 of the library will come back to video on Spotify. If you want the video episodes as they are now, though, head on over to the YouTube channel. It's just the library Halo Lorecast, the way that it's spelled on Spotify, and you'll find it there.
When was our first episode released?
April 20th, 2023.
It's almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost 2 years.
And then how long were you guys doing this?
We were doing that for about, I want to say you came in around October of 2023.
I thought it was sometime maybe late summer. Was it in the fall?
It might have been.
I don't know.
I remember being cold.
Yeah, was it?
I remember.
You might be
cold.
right. You might be right.
Because
Get there.
yeah,
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
We're out of
I remember
licorice.
now. Because I remember there had to be I remember you guys talking about it starting at I kind of want part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was 4. It was full. Jamal was there. I'm like, I said his name.
You're fine.
I'm like, they're full, busy. Some things happened. Some bad shots were made. He was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I came in. and I've only had fun.
Folks were confused about the intro changing to 3 friends decided that it was about time that they boot up their consoles. They needed it to go back to 4.
Yeah, 3 was just not the right number.
I will say though, it was a really chill time for that little brief period. It was because I was like
it wasn't chill when I got there.
Here's the thing. What I'm saying is that it was chill for the fact that in that time, that was one of the seasons where we had no plan.
Oh.
So we were just in this interim phase of just trying to figure out, because at the time we were recording in my office, if you remember, with the poker table.
Yes, that was so fun. That was really fun. We just go. It was freezing in there for one. It was frigid. It was like the middle of December, and we're recording on this poker table, just freezing to death.
I'm an Eskimo.
Oh my god. It was like mid-December and the windows are open and we're just like, what kind of hell is this?
The opposite of hell.
So.
Answer that real.
When hell freezes over. Y'all good?
Yeah, I jumped.
You what?
You bumped.
Did you?
Mike.
He pressed A on accident. Unless you're bumper jumper, then you press the right bumper. There are some people like that, man. I don't get it.
It's okay. They can be wrong. Your Discord. Is that your Discord?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's why I keep it muted usually during recordings. So I could probably go back to doing that. Hold on.
No, you're okay.
That's just what it sounds like all the time though. Like, see, look, this is what's been happening during.
Just notification after notification.
Yeah, it's because folks are like, I've already
popular over here.
I'm not popular. I'm just helpful. These are
yeah.
not people messaging me to tell me how cool I am. They're people messaging me being like, where's my
Donde está my
Donde está my Anyway.
No one ever messages me. You're a cool guy. I want to wonder what kind of motives they have.
Who put you up to this? What are you up to?
I will say genuinely, just for self-esteem purposes, if I ever do get love letters like that, because we have gotten a couple where there's someone that just goes out of their way to message me and be like, hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for getting me back interested in being in like doing things with Halo lore. I want to thank you guys because I was done with Halo for a while and I just tried playing the games again while listening to you guys. And it was a whole different experience. And I'm like, wow, I screenshot those and I keep them for myself.
I thought I got one too on Unlocked and Loaded. I thought I was getting a genuine voicemail, but no, it was James just being a pervert.
Say that version of James really liked you.
Yeah. I just wanted to know where I could find you.
Where I could find you. I'm like, what?
I saw you at the gym.
He doxed my gym location too. I'm like, what? I'm like, there's no way.
So freaking funny. But
you,
yeah, it was.
I thought I was getting a genuine voicemail.
Yeah, I should have sold it a little better.
I was nothing.
It wasn't you that gave it away. It was James. James is a bad liar and has a bad poker face. I gave him a look.
I've got an amazing. I was trying to do the I'm super focused on figuring out what's going on face, where I was like looking at my phone.
No,
and being like,
it was more James.
Kyle.
No, it was more James. It was more James.
So I figured it probably helped that I was a spectator.
It was a strategic decision.
I kind of I was 50-50 for a minute because you were believable. I can tell when you're lying. You were being genuine. Like, I don't know who did this. I'm like, oh boy. Like, I'm like, we might have some. Yeah.
Connor's denying this, and there's tomfoolery going around. What's going on? Who did this?
Austin was locking in. You were like panicking, and James was just like trying too hard to have a poker face and failing miserably.
Yeah, he's much more expressive whenever something like that happens.
Oh yeah.
So it broke it. But anyway, this is a Halo podcast.
Oh yeah,
it is.
So before we kick off with Forward Unto Dawn and Nightfall, drop a comment. What's your favorite of the two? If do you like them at all?
There is a correct answer here.
There is.
This is opinionated, but there is a correct answer,
and we'll tell you our answer at the end here. As per usual, by the way, we do have a Patreon and everything segment where we check up stuff that nothing in the PO box this week, but check up stuff with Patreon, check up stuff with our Q&A and all of that. Stick around after the outro to check up on that. And then we'll be able to move on.
Send this man some lotion in the PO box. He hijacked Unlocked and Loaded yesterday when we were reading off the PO box because his knuckles are ashy.
Yeah.
Send this man some lotion.
I would very much appreciate it. And hey, you know what? You could also send us your opinions on this whole thing yourselves. If you call us, because you can call in and leave a voicemail or text message for us. We'll play it on the show. We'll read it on the show.
It does get vetted.
Yes. Give us some reactions from this week's episode so we can check it out next week. You can call it at 206-278-5795. Just call in there and you got 2 minutes. Just say you're calling for the library, say your name, and then just make sure that it's stuff that we can actually play here on the show. But otherwise, Halo Forward Unto Dawn, we're going to kick off with that one because Forward Unto Dawn is first.
And better.
Hold on, man. I said I was going to save the answer for after the show is over.
I think us talking about it, our answer would have, I think our answers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, just wait for it. It will be funny foreshadowing. Anyway, so Forward Unto Dawn. Story kicks off rather simply. Forward Unto Dawn was meant to be a marketing piece for Halo 4. And it worked out so well.
So good.
I remember.
So
Do you remember when it first dropped? Like what that experience was?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing. Yeah, I remember seeing it like on the Xbox 360 like dashboard. Like you know how it'd have like the little advertisements and everything like that. I remember seeing it there, and I was like beside myself because like there wasn't anything like that for Halo like ever. Like it was just like other than like the live action trailers. This was like a genuine movie that you could watch, and you know it did really well, and it built up a lot of hype because it was canon and it helped with the world building. It wasn't no alternate universe.
What are you trying to say, Shane?
Nothing. There's nothing.
Forward Unto Dawn was very surprising for me as a kid for a couple of reasons, because when Forward Unto Dawn came out, it would have been like 12 or 13.
We were about 12.
And I remember at the time I was a big Narnia fan. So listen,
I'm hearing you out.
Seeing Anna Popplewell there, the chick who plays Susan in Narnia.
Oh, that's right. She isn't.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what's she doing in my favorite franchise?
Yeah, I was gonna say no. She's a great actress.
She's a fantastic actress.
Great. She's great.
She doesn't really do a whole lot anymore.
No,
which sucks.
She got her bag and was just like probably like, yeah, I'm good.
You know, I would love for the Narnia. I heard Narnia is actually going to come back on Netflix as a show.
Yes, I've also heard that.
They better do well by that.
I hope it does well because Narnia is amazing.
It's
I love
fantastic.
the Narnia movies are great. The books are also great.
Yes.
You know, not me, but I did read the Narnia books when I was younger.
I read them to go to sleep.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yep.
Highly recommend.
I think there's only ever been one book I've read while in.
That's fair. You know, actually, I just realized the difference in how life changes over the course of just even 20 years. When I was a kid.
20.
Yeah. No, seriously, that does seem like nothing whenever you think about how, like, if you just consider your own mortality for a second, 20 years does not feel that long if you're thinking about it right now.
And then you're only conscious for a good out of 16 years.
So, like, when I was a kid, I remember, though, as a kid, you know, right now I can just listen to YouTube while I go to bed, right? You can just pull it up on your phone, pull it up on your TV. When I was a kid, that wasn't really a thing. So what I had was one of those like nighttime radio alarm clocks. So it would just play. It would play radio late night, and I would just fall asleep to it.
Radio show.
Yep. Gosh, that was so wild. Anyway,
I couldn't remember his name. This was my own thought. I could not think of his show, and I just said it, but I'm thinking, how does the break?
There you go. It's in there somewhere. Every memory is locked in there somewhere. That's just a wild part. But anyway, Forward Unto Dawn. The story is rather simple, like I said. Pretty much, we're following Thomas Lasky. He's a character from Halo 4. Probably the best character from Halo 4, I'm not going to lie. If we're going to set aside Chief, it's probably him. And it's all about his origin story, kind of. His first time interacting with the Chief. I
wouldn't say kind of. I'd say it pretty much is. Yeah,
it's his ascendancy into being someone who's capable of greater leadership. Someone who's capable of being a greater soldier. Because Lasky's whole character arc is driven by trying to meet the expectations of his mother and to meet the sort of path that he feels he needs to follow in the shadow of his brother, Cadman Lasky. Now that was a soldier.
That's
gosh, General
too.
Black.
At the beginning of the movie, he's just like, I mean, the way it opens up, they're doing like milsim training with ARs with I believe they had paintballs in it.
It was like stun. They're called stun rounds.
Yeah, something like that.
There's basically just stun paint.
Yeah, and like he tried something like he wasn't supposed to do. Like he was throughout the movie he was constantly like during like the trainings going against orders, trying his own thing. And like it was just really, really good character development for him till the end.
And Forward Unto Dawn had a lot of benefit in having the characters kind of be involved in future stuff, such as in the case of a character like Michael Sullivan, who I love him. He's just a funny character because he's just sitting here just casually decrypting Oni files. And then eventually he actually becomes part of Oni because they probably picked him up. We're like, that's really impressive.
That's impressive. You want to come do the shady shit that we were reading about?
That's one way to prevent people from
Please work for us. Please.
It's better to have him work for you than to be against you, you know?
Against you.
Please quit breaking into our secret. Please work for us.
So you have this wide range of characters that are a part of this team called Hastati Squad. And I can't remember the name of the leader to save my life.
I know you're looking at me. I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Shoot. That's going to bother me.
Look it up. So, yep. So
I love how I'm bothered.
So this team is made up of a bunch of different types of people, which makes them more entertaining. You've got the one chick, Chikova, who is, she's a daughter of I think a captain in Fleet Comm, or her mom is in Fleet Comm, I think it is. You have what?
April Orensky.
Yes. Orensky. Orensky doesn't really have much of a backstory that we get to hear about, but then you've got Vickers, who is just trying his hardest to be a soldier, man. He's hardcore in the paint all the time. You have Chen, who is trying to meet the expectations of his father. It's basically entirely just these people that are trying to meet the expectations of other people, actually. It's kind of interesting in that way. And so Lasky isn't alone in this. It's just Lasky sticks out because the way that he's trying to meet the expectations of people, but also trying to be kind of an anti-war propagandist in the same instance, makes him a whole lot more interesting in terms of the plot. But things start to go downhill kind of quickly because first of all, Lasky is kind of doing horribly in this military academy, Corbulo, because
he's stubborn. He's extremely, extremely stubborn.
Yeah. I mean, why would you get into a fist fight right in front of the janitor?
Right in front of the janitor. Right in front of the janitor. I mean, he has a chip on his shoulder, which I mean, to an extent, I understand.
I mean,
but like, you don't have to always be like so. You don't always have to be so stubborn and like bullheaded. Like, you don't have to pick a fight at every corner you turn. And it felt like any order he was given, like during the milsim or like even just like in the barracks, just hanging out, he was always doing something stupid that he probably shouldn't have been. And it just made, again, it kind of translated like, yeah, he's like up against the wall and like not really a failure, but kind of leaning towards like, hey, you're not doing the greatest here. There's a lot, you have a, like you can be a good soldier. It's in you, but you're making a lot of ignorant and bad decisions.
Well, yeah. With the janitor being the mess will get cleaned up pretty quickly.
It did.
I bet.
Thanks, Connor.
I'm just pointing out.
Fun fact: the janitor Hamish Beamish was played by a little guy. No one knows him, named Frank O'Connor.
Oh, heard that name a few times around these parts.
Yeah,
around these parts.
And he's got your name.
Did he spell it right?
Yeah.
Did he spell it right? It's his name. Is it spelled right?
What a cool guy.
You want to know something crazy though, real quick? Hamish Beamish,
I love that name.
The janitor has one of the most mind-bogglingly confusing origin stories.
I didn't know about it. Let's hear it.
There's a short story in Halo Evolutions that's called The Ballad of Hamish Beamish. Yes, because it is supposed to be like a poem/song that you can sing. But it's a story about him. Hamish Beamish was going to be a cadet at Corbulo. Okay? Yeah. The ship that was transporting him there accidentally opened the cryopods early. Everyone else aboard the ship died.
Hey.
He was the only one that was like left completely unfrozen, alive, and he survived off of eating random things. I can't remember what he was eating, drinking stuff that I can't remember him drinking, but he was out there in space for 6 months while the ship slowly drifted towards Corbulo.
There's a
that's cool.
Or years, maybe. It might have been even years.
There's a movie out or coming out with Chris Pratt that has that same exact like premise, like
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, it's a mass. They're like on a massive spaceship and they're traveling to a planet that's like 75 years away, and they're all in cryo. And the only things that are awake on the ship are the artificial intelligence. And he's asking it like he's basically interrogating like, hey, my cryopod malfunctioned. What do I need to do? And like it gave like, yep, you can send a message back over to Earth, but it'll take 20 years for your message to get there, and then another 25 for them to respond. And then it's like, oh, that'll also be $10,000. And he's just like, okay. And then he goes up to another AI who's a little bit more sentient, and he's like, hey, I woke up. Why did my cryopod malfunction? And like, oh, you're not awake. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's not possible. Your cryopod isn't, it's impossible for it to malfunction. And I don't know how it ends, but I've seen the trailers, but it's literally that same exact premise, and I find that super interesting.
That is interesting.
I think that's out because I swear I've heard like movies.
I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah.
A lot.
So it's probably out.
It has to be. It has to be.
The guy, he went and got some girl out of the pod too. Like,
what do that? I was like, what a dick. Why would you wake someone else up?
He was like by himself for like 3 months straight.
Still.
Nothing but him and an AI.
I still wouldn't wake someone else up, but.
If you guys want to hear about the Ballad of Hamish Beamish, by the way, on Terminals, our after show for Patreon in general, which you can get access to for as low as the smallest tier that we offer, which is the $1 tier.
$1.
It would be great help, but also you should get access to that show. It'll give you access immediately, no matter what you choose. But there's Yes. There's one episode of Terminals where I read through the entirety of the Ballad of Hamish Beamish as seriously as I possibly can.
What movie is that?
That was like a couple months ago. It was for the book club. Which there's a book club you guys all should be joining in on in the Discord. Our members have been dwindling, unfortunately, so please join in. We're currently reading Halo Bloodline for this week, the comic book about Black Team. You should definitely join because we're going to have some interesting thoughts about that one. But after everything has been established with our characters, we have Lasky going and struggling through being a cadet at Corbulo Academy. We see a couple inklings of something going wrong in space, and it is slowly and then very quickly all of a sudden revealed that the Covenant has found this planet.
It is the best reveal. I still think it's the best reveal of the Covenant in the Halo franchise.
Dude, those CSO cruisers just
the way they're coming. Oh yeah,
clouds.
It's insane. It like I want to say like maybe Halo Reach, but no, I think Forward and Dawn probably has the best like introduction to the Covenant.
I would agree 100%.
I don't think anything, and it's very horror-esque.
Mm-hmm.
There's horror elements to it, and it's so good. There's a space elevator that gets zapped. As there's a bunch of people trying to get on, like taking the space elevator and get off the planet, and then the cruisers just come in and zap the space elevator and all the debris. And even, I'm pretty sure bodies.
Dude, it's so horrifying.
Oh my God.
For a bit there, you hear people screaming as they approach the ground.
Yep, and then you just hear thuds, glass breaking, and like you can barely, you can tell what's going on, but like the lights are flashing. And oh my, it's so good. It's just so unbelievably good.
Yep, especially given the context of when this is taking place. Forward Unto Dawn takes place at the early stage of the war where not everyone in the UNSC knew about the Covenant yet.
Yes.
Harvest was still the primary battleground. So them going for other colonies was kind of unheard of at that point. They didn't, no one in the UNSC is expected for the Covenant to go after a planet like Corbulo Academy was on. So then when Corbulo gets attacked, this is like maybe a year after the chief upgrades his armor from his initial armor set. And so his armor's weird. He sounds younger because he's like 15 in that movie.
Canonically.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
He's already lost Sam. He's already been through quite a bit of stuff as a Spartan. It's only been like a year into the war. And maybe it's like 1 to 5. I can't remember exactly. I just know it's in that really early stage of the war where we're still on Harvest primarily. And watching humans just throw everything they can at these Covenant forces and nothing's working. They throw ODSTs, which, by the way, they made this reference to Hannibal and how Hannibal was able to beat the enemy forces that outnumbered him by a lot by just circling around with cavalry to the rear and encircled them, killing them off that way. And then they were like, okay, so what's our equivalent to now? And, Susan from Narnia goes, ODSTs. And it's like, yes, ODSTs, very well done. And then later in this very same movie, we see ODSTs not drop behind enemy lines, just drop right in front of them.
This is before. I'm pretty sure this was happening like before the cruisers like revealed themselves in the sky. it's just like they're all like, what's happening? Are we under attack? Like no one knows what sure is going on.
That's true.
You look up, you see like lightning in the skies. Like you hear like it sounds crazy. Like you don't know what's happening. All these soldiers are scattering.
Honestly, wait a minute. They could have been dropping those pods because the frigate got shot down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that could be it. Because before you see anything, they look outside and they see the ODSTs dropping and walking out, and they're like, are those ODSTs? And like you're like, oh, that's how you know shit's about to get real. Because there's ODSTs on the ground. And like, why are they on the ground? There's nothing on the ground. But yeah, their ship could have got shot down. Or they knew Covenant would be on the ground, like very soon within the next like 10 minutes, and they were just getting ready for it.
Could have been war games.
No,
no,
not yet.
No. There was my thing is with the Covenant, and again they really put a good emphasis in this movie on how like intimidating the Covenant should be, again, because like no one really knows exactly. There's a lot of people who don't know the Covenant even like exists or why they would even be there.
99% of humanity.
Oh yeah. And then when you do see them, I understand the comedic aspect of having Covenant speak English, but the Covenant is always at its best when they are speaking their own language. I love it when in Halo Reach, Combat Evolved, Halo 4, like they're always at their best when they are speaking their own language, at least to me, because they are just so much more intimidating. And in that movie, it applies to that movie as well.
Because like there's a difference, I think, between there being like the elites of Halo Reach and the elites of Halo 2. Like the elites of Halo 2, that storytelling in Halo 2 is supposed to be more Shakespearean play-esque.
Well,
they have to be able to.
It had to have been. They had to speak English for story purposes there. Like I understand.
But their dialogue is important, is unique to them, is what makes that important. But if they were doing that with Reach, it just wouldn't have hit as hard.
No, they could. No. They were again a more like an intimidation factor, making them seem like, yeah, this is horrifying.
Yeah.
And I remember as the space elevator comes down, once Covenant make contact, like they're running and trying to get through somewhere safe. I believe they were running to an armory, or maybe they weren't going to an armory yet.
It was an armory.
I thought that was maybe after, but I think they were like running, and then they're like, hey, let's go to an armory. Or were they like, hey, let's go to an armory now and run?
They were trying to head back to the barracks because the armory is connected to it.
Okay, yeah. And just like as they're running, like trying to get to this armory, there's like, you can see like silhouettes of grunts. Actually, is there? I'm drawing.
There's not any grunts in.
That's what I thought. I'm like, no, there's no grunts.
There's only jackals and elites.
Yeah,
and hunters.
Yes, there's hunters as well. You can see silhouettes.
One hunter.
Yes.
No brutes.
No. There's no brutes. No
brutes weren't really in the early war.
No.
Like they kind of started it ish because of Maccabeus, but for the most part, brutes weren't in forward operation. That was mostly the elites.
There was also not one hunter. I believe there was two.
Where's the second one?
That's the one he sticks the grenade in the back.
Where's the first one?
When he comes back and regroups with them, is like, it took everything I had to take that thing down. There's two. There's always two.
I was what I was worried about. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, there's two. But that's at the end. That's jumping the gun. But like while they're trying to get to the armory, there's just silhouettes of jackals. You can see like what you can only assume is needlers, plasma carbine shots ringing out all around them. And they finally get somewhere quiet. And then you just like they're right in the front of the school, I believe, and there's a statue of somebody, and they like you hear like loud footsteps, and you see a glow, and it's an elite with an energy sword, and he's talking his saying Healy, and he walks up to it and he slices the statue like in half, and again you can't understand him, and it is the coolest scene. It sets the tone so good.
Oh, the timing of the scene is even better than what you remember it being. The timing of that moment is immediately after the body stopped falling from the sky.
Oh, was that before?
Yeah, because he's on the ground looking through a grate outside, and he sees.
That's like the first intro. Oh my god, yeah, that's even better.
And you know what's really cool is I got to go to the Halo Museum. And in the Halo Museum, they actually still have the Corbulo Academy statue in it.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, and
they got sliced up.
The statue has a slice mark.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like it has LEDs that glow.
Oh, like the plasma just like went through it, like
yeah, it's hollow in the center and it's cut straight through.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's really neat.
Awesome. I'm
so
jealous.
It was really neat.
That's really cool.
But there was a lot of things from Forward and Dawn in there. Actually, there was the podium that they used during a I think it was actually for the marketing for Halo 4. There was a speech that was given in one of the trailers, and that podium was in there. Master Chief's armor from Forward Unto Dawn was in there. There was a lot of stuff that was just there, including the bodysuits for the brutes from Halo 3 ODST's live action trailer, which was really cool to see. But
I want one.
you wouldn't, honestly, ironically enough, I don't think you would fit in it.
I want
It's
one.
too small.
Too small. Makes no sense.
What do you mean?
So there's going forward, we have our first unfortunate, aside from Chakova, because Chakova tried to convince this Marine or Army soldier, whichever one, to let her onto the elevator so that she could get out of there. She threatens him with pulling rank, basically. And she gets bleamed on the elevator.
Womp womp.
And then everyone else is all right, so they run, and as they're running, Chen is trying to lead everybody around, and suddenly Chen is just, does this little thing with his fist, holds everybody up, and then you see a fog of breath on his lenses of his glasses, and you're like, oh
no.
That smells bad.
And then next thing you know, Chen is hovering in the air with an energy sword through his stomach, and there's nothing else there.
Yep.
That'll do it.
And that was their first introduction to seeing the elites, and through very well done cinematography and pacing, they have to run from this elite and make it to the armory. So all we have left is Vickers, Lasky, Orensky, and Susan from Narnia. I keep forgetting her name.
Susan from Narnia.
Kyler.
Yeah, it was Kyler.
It's Kyler.
Yes, that's. I thought it was. I was thinking Katie, but I'm like, no, it's something with a K.
Kyler.
Yeah, it's Kyler. Elites cloaked while they're running.
This elite is cloaked. It's actually, scarily enough, it's a zealot.
I was saying they're always cloaked in all these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not be?
I don't know. Maybe,
Exactly.
Maybe they're not doing stealth. Maybe they do frontline stuff.
No. Elites in the front line just use active camo. And plus, again, terrifying fact
If
is
you have
that
the
it's a
option to
zealot.
not be seen, why would you not take it, regardless of where you are?
Because like the zealot is the thing that's freaking me out the most here, guys.
No, it's a very high-ranking elite.
Yes, and zealots are only there for one specific purpose. There's something under Corbulo Academy that he's looking for.
Yep.
So he's slaughtering everybody to get to it.
Zealots are sent out for Covenant religious artifact retrieval.
Mhm.
If you didn't know, we talked about it a while ago. But
Yeah.
that whenever there's a zealot around, that's why,
Mhm.
because there's something of religious significance on that base. I don't exactly know what it was.
They never talked about
Did
it.
we never find out?
No.
Fancy rock.
Maybe they were just there for
It might have been
fun.
explained in the pedia. I'll look it up while I'm talking, just in case. But last one, aside from them, was Sully. Sully was with them as well. And so they make it into this armory, and they're trying their best to open the lockers. They can't. The system's jammed and offline, so they can't actually get to the armory. My opinion, horrible design for a base if you can't get the weapons.
Yeah, I was
power.
gonna say, you need to make sure you can get in regardless.
Oh,
like
get hit by an EMP.
Yeah, like just
Oh no.
like a simple.
Like, what do you do then? No keys? Like, just open it.
A simple combination lock would suffice just fine.
I don't know, man. But what we get is Vickers gets separated in the same room away from them, and Vickers has a fire extinguisher, and the elite is getting dangerously close to where Lasky is, because like Lasky, Orensky, Susan from Narnia, and Sully are all are all in this little corner huddled together. The elite is about to turn the corner, and Vickers, like the genius he is, goes, "Hey, guys, run!" and then just gets bleamed. Like one shot, he's done.
Yeah, it was really like I respect what you were trying. I mean, to be fair, it did save them.
Yeah,
it did say, but by the grace of God, literally by the grace of God, that one distraction provided the Master Chief enough time to somehow slip his 2-ton weighing ass into the room undetected and slip a knife into this elite's throat without anyone noticing.
Yep.
Just that one distraction was enough for Chief to walk in and kill that elite before it killed Lasky and the rest.
Yeah.
Based.
I can't find anything about what they were looking for, by the way.
It probably wasn't even thought of. They were like, yeah, everyone knows what a zealot is. We'll just.
Well, the problem is that they didn't think about it very hard, because this is another instance of the strange redo of the art style that didn't need to be done.
It doesn't make sense for the Covenant to be in this art style.
Because it would make sense if they just didn't try to explain it with lore. If they instead just made it so like this is just what Halo looks like now, I would have been probably fine with that, because that happens all the time. It's just, this is just what it looks like in this art style. But what they did was that they said that these Sangheili in Halo 4 were some other different breed of Sangheili.
Breed?
Yeah, from a different planet. Not Sanghelios.
Okay, that doesn't make sense, and I didn't know about that.
There's a lot of different homeworlds for the Sangheili, like Suban and stuff. But
They were just trying to like adapt to the new art style that Halo 4 was going to go into. But for the time period of the war, it would have made just so much sense just to like make the Covenant, like just put them in. Honestly, the Jackals and the Hunters looked fine.
They're really from Halo Reach.
Yeah, exactly. Like they look relatively normal, like at least what we're used to. But like the elites, for some reason, and I mean, to be in their defense, it kind of works for how the movie is. Like I don't think they necessarily look bad, but from looking at it like a timeline standpoint, there's no reason why these elites should not be. I mean, other than what they've said, there's no reason they shouldn't be like in traditional looking armor. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
But it's okay. We don't have to deal with this elite for long because Master Chief shows up out of freaking nowhere and shanks this elite in the neck. And it's just like, we don't have much time. Let's go.
Yes. Thank you, Green Man.
Yeah, just... Are you one of them?
Let's just say it didn't explain any. Like you see this guy, like they probably never even seen a Spartan or anything like that. This is the first time seeing a Spartan, let alone the Spartan.
This is the first time seeing aliens. This is the first time seeing Spartans.
It's a lot to take in. Like they need a full-on psych eval, all of them.
This soldier is 8'1", and the ground shakes when he walks.
Well, and then after that, they're still in the armory. The doors they couldn't get open. Master Chief just he punches it and just grabs. He rips off the locker with one hand. He's like, "Yep, load up."
That door was never locked for Chief.
No,
there's no. He's got a built-in key.
Yeah. So the team gets all armored up, and after they leave, we have a couple interesting moments of the team moving strategically through the area. We see a lot of the destruction that happened. We see General Black's body. We see a whole lot of folks that just died that you saw earlier, so it makes it a very painful scene. But then we start to see things like Kyler is the markswoman of the group, and she picks up a Covenant carbine and actually starts using it against Jackals. And she runs out of ammo, things start getting a little hectic, and then Chief just one-handed is just sprinting by, just capping Jackals with a Magnum.
Such a good scene. He's just running in a straight line, one-handed. And that's that carbine that she picked up. Like the games don't do justice on how big some of these guns actually are.
They're huge.
Like the carbine was like the size was like as big as she was. Like it was huge.
And the recoil that she displayed.
It puts it in perspective. Like, man, when I'm playing the games, like it's literally a laser beam, and then she's sitting there, she shoots it, she's like flying back all the way.
I remember that when she first picked it up, she accidentally like discharged it.
Yeah.
And she went like flipping backwards a little bit.
She got pushed back hard, and I'm like, if it's plasma, I don't know if there technically should be any recoil, but it just made it look.
Well, that's the thing. Given just a quick thing on that, given that plasma and light both do have mass, if you collect the energy enough, yes, an explosion of energy and mass is going to end up having a recoil effect. Like the Spartan laser, that is just light.
Yeah,
it's just photons, but photons condensed into one single tight space and then being just
launched.
First of all,
for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
First of all, realistically, everything around it should melt.
So the gun should fall apart.
Including the gun, including the person holding it, all of it should melt. Second of all, if you don't melt, you should be blind for life.
Yeah, they have the visors.
Not all of them.
Could be UV visors.
Kyler did not have visors on.
Okay,
you know what, Connor? Good job. The visors on Spartan helmets are indeed polarized. They can still not look right at a sun.
You know what? Maybe it has a quick setting welding, just the laser fires on.
Welding mode. Cortana, switch my visor to welding mode.
Just aim it for a second, everything's completely black, and then everything's light for a second.
Cortana, I want to watch the solar eclipse. Activate solar eclipse mode.
Pretty much is what those goggles do. Mask or whatever you wear.
I don't know. Now
if we're going that route.
Now I'm just thinking more of more stupid things to like.
Cortana, I want a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Anyway, forward unto dawn. So after Chief saves their lives again, they get into a warthog, which, credit to this movie, it is the only movie, I think it's the actual only live action representation of Halo aside from Halo Landfall that has a live action warthog that they actually drive. It's not, there's not one in Nightfall. There's not one even in the TV show that they're actually physically driving. I think if they do, I think
the TV show. I knew there wasn't one in Nightfall that I noticed. But
I think there's one warthog in one episode of the TV show.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
Like, putting a warthog together in real life, it's quite.
I mean, we saw.
There are 8 of them. There are 8 current living live warthogs,
and we saw one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw one.
I think that one is actually from Forward Unto Dawn.
I wish I would have known that because I would have appreciated it so much more. I had no idea.
Well, that's the thing. They're not making new ones all the time. The warthogs are very difficult to build because of the way that you have to actually like find the perfect body for it. You have to find this perfect frame. Someone tried to make a warthog out of a Cybertruck body.
I respect it, but
it didn't work.
Yeah,
they had to wrap it.
Yeah.
And then on a warthog, don't both axles move with turning?
Well, they can't get that accurate. That part is kind of not.
Some cars do have that.
They do, but that is also, we're going into highly prototype, experimental type beat.
Yeah.
And we just can't afford that. Not even Forza goes that far. Forza doesn't have that mechanic.
Yeah, none of the cars I know of in that game have it. The only car that does have anything close to that right now, off the top of my head, is going to be the newer Hummer. It's crab walk mode.
Is that what that is?
What the hell?
Man, I can imagine that, trying to design that.
If you were to watch the Hummer, it could drive in a diagonal line while looking like it's coming at you straight on.
That's so cool.
Granted, the car is going to be at like a 45-degree angle, but
I don't know. It would be really cool to see it happen someday. Folks are right now, there's more, like even though there's maybe 6 to 8 actual warthogs in existence, there's always more being worked on by just workshop guys that are just like, I'm bored, I'm going to make a warthog.
I would love to see someone get the quad steer down. That would be some dedication.
I would love to see it. And you know what? If you manage to pull it off, we would love to give you appreciation in person. Fly us out. But we're coming up on the end of Forward Unto Dawn. After we get all of this done with the warthog and everything like that, Chief goes face to face with a hunter. Lasky makes a sacrifice to distract the hunter so that Chief can mount the back of the hunter and stick a grenade up into itself and blow it up. And there's a couple things about Forward Unto Dawn to Halo 4 that I wish carried over, such as, let's say, Lasky in this movie has a allergy to the cryo gel that is used to make sure that your cells don't freeze when you get into cryo. He wakes up with a horrible rash. He throws up. He has a hard time breathing. There's a lot of things that go wrong. And whenever it skips to the future where Lasky is once again listening to the contact from Cortana, you know, the Mayday, these use NSC FFG 201 Forward Unto Dawn. Survivors aboard, blah, 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 all that stuff. He goes into cryo. Anyway, you can see the scarring on his body by this point from cryo sleep so much, but he's still doing it. He also looks notably older in Forward Unto Dawn than he does in the game. But the other thing is that there's a very notable scene where Chief picks up a piece of the hunter's armor after he blows it up and gives it to Lasky. And then after they've taken off, it goes into the future. And before he puts on the suit to get into the cryo sleep, he's holding this necklace that is made out of, like, it's the same piece that he got. It's just been shaped and forged a little bit, so it's easier to put on a necklace, basically. And I'm like, he's got it on him. But like, it's like Lasky and Chief never talk like they've met in Halo 4.
Also, I don't think you mentioned this. Kyler's dead.
Oh yeah, she died.
Yeah, she got shot on the way back.
And dude who's playing Lasky straight up has the most convincing, I just lost someone I cared about so much.
He's a great actor.
Cry I've ever seen.
I forget what the actor's name is, but he was really, really good.
It was the way that he hits the Kyler. Like bro is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and first of all, aliens are real. You are being escorted by a cyborg robot man. Your girlfriend is dead. Your friends are dead. You are going somewhere you don't know where you're going to.
The only survivors left on the planet, and the invasion's only been taking place for a few hours.
They take off their helmets, and there are literal children.
except the one that doesn't take off his helmet. I mean, he is a child.
117.
But you don't know that.
No.
Yeah, because straight up, like Fred and Kelly are both there, and granted, Kelly's accent, I don't even know what that's about. I don't even know what's about her helmet either. She doesn't wear air assault.
I vividly remember how vibrant her eyes were in that scene.
Well, that's the thing. That was the ability for the Hummer to just drive diagonally.
That's insane.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Homer's a smooth criminal.
That's you guys know what I was talking about.
But no, I actually really like that direction. That was a thing that I was happy for it because I thought 343 was going to lean into it more. But the eyes thing.
Well, I from my understanding, it was like augmentation stuff.
That's what it is. Because in Halo Reach, Life of a Spartan, the one where we see Carter become a Spartan,
his eyes get like
his eyes change.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be your augmentations doing that. So Kelly and Fred both have these wildly cool eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never really see that ever again.
Well, how many other Spartans have we seen that have augmentations?
Halo TV show.
That doesn't count.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's the only other visual representation.
Count that.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's the only visual representation in this case that we've ever seen.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Legendary ending of Halo 4 where you see Chief's like...
Should have been there, too.
Yeah.
Especially since it's the same era.
His eyes just...
Made in the same year, probably.
Yep. His eyes just look like... battle torn. He just looks like he's seen some shit.
He looks like he's been a smoker for 40 years.
Yeah, he looks like he's been through it. You can see like all the scars and shit on his face, but his eyes look completely normal.
Yeah. So Forward Unto Dawn wraps up in that way. Chief ends up, going off and doing his thing across the galaxy while Lasky works to become a commander and eventually captain of the UNSC Infinity. He has a very long career. We just don't know a whole lot about it. Authors, get on it. Because seriously, all these stories that we've got, and I still have no idea about Lasky. Lasky is the only reason why I still play Halo 4. I love him. He's a really compelling character. He says some real shit to Chief that was super interesting as a conversation between a normal dude and Chief that I was thinking we were never going to get after Johnson died.
And then they don't bring him back in Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
You see audio logs.
Sometimes I feel like Chief is the only thing that does get brought back in any Halo game.
These days, yes.
Halo Infinite is just like, can be looked at as just complete missed opportunity.
Because what ends up happening is, and we've talked about this one before, so I'm going to be really brief on this overview, but what happens here, Connor, is in 343's games, what they like to do is if a character is received poorly, they'll just, instead of doing the thing that usually you will want to do, where you just do something to make that character more compelling in the next thing, they just write them out.
Put them in a book where they can die.
Yeah, like Halo 4, Sarah Palmer was received poorly, even though she's one of the coolest characters that we've ever gotten, unequivocally, and has one of the most badass speeches ever. If those freaks want to meet God, it's our duty to help them along. It's such a good speech. But she, in Halo 5, has such a small, insignificant role that you could almost forget she's there. And she's completely written out, basically. And then by the time Halo Infinite comes around, you don't even see her.
Well, at that point, so many years have gone in between games, you almost forget about these characters.
That's why it's important to maintain the effort to make so these characters stay relevant, instead of just getting rid of them, because there are people who care about these characters, and their stories are still being told. You can't just pretend a character story is over.
If you do get rid of these characters, don't do it in a book where I'm never going to see it. Put it in the game. Or like a short or something.
But like, that's the worst part. Sarah Palmer's story hasn't even been finished anywhere. It hasn't been told in like almost, gosh, it's really almost been a decade.
We need to put a cap on that one.
Anyway, I want Palmer to come back. I want Lasky to come back. The fact that I got a freaking like climactic ending to the random cult leader from Hunt the Truth Season 2, and I don't know what happened to Palmer or Lasky is crazy. But me saying that, I'm not saying put the ending of their characters in a freaking Waypoint Chronicle.
That's what he said.
Listen, the Chronicles are cool. I'm okay with that. Make it small. Don't do the big things.
That's the thing too. Like them, like those two aside, like even Locke, who is like in Halo 5 looked at is
gone.
Just gone. Like just gone. He's mentioned a few times in audio logs, but like, and you see his helmet.
Which is why he wears his helmet as arm decoration.
And it's just like, you took like I understand the perception of Locke as a character was overall negative, but you literally had the chance to write him into a much better position, and you don't you instead of doing that, you just no, like in co-op, instead of having like 4 Master Chiefs running around, you could have done like Locke, you could have done Palmer, you could have done Chief, someone from Blue Team maybe, like something, like anything other than just like 4 Chiefs running around.
It'd help if they were to release games a little more often. That way they could still build a story rather than...
You can't, yeah, I mean, no, I agree, but they're not gonna. Yeah, I think the release window for Halo is entirely too long. Like 5 to 7 years between games is way too long.
You can't just release a new character, then sit on top of him for almost a decade.
Yeah. The magic number...
People to like him when he's only had an introduction.
Definitely not saying go Call of Duty and go annually. Like maybe 3 to 4 years. I prefer.
That's how it used to be.
I think biannually.
You know what's kind of funny is that Halo actually pulled off annually for a bit there. I've brought this up so many times. 8 straight years of Halo from between 2008 to 2016. That happened.
That did happen.
Because it wasn't mainline games, but it was like ODST.
Wait, from when to when?
2000. I guess it would be technically 7.
Yeah, I was going to say
9 years. 2007 to 16.
Halo 3 was 2007.
Because 3 ODST, Wars, Spartan Assault, 4 Comedy Evolved Anniversary, MCC, Spartan Strike, Halo 5, and Halo Wars 2. Also Halo Wars 1. I forgot to mention. All of that happened in 9 year span. That was like 1 year separation between all of it because you had all these different teams that were working anyway. We still have one more thing to talk about.
Let's have fun here.
So
we'd like to have fun.
We have interesting thoughts. That's all that I'm saying. You know, stick around long enough, you'll hear them multiple times. Anyway, we have one more movie to talk about, and
no, we don't. Thank you guys for listening.
Shane, you know, I was taking it on Halo 4 and Unto Dawn. I would like you to handle this next one for me.
No.
Please.
No, I don't.
Please.
No, it's not good.
Please.
And you've seen it more than me.
Please.
I mean, I'll start off, okay?
Please.
All right. So,
Halo Nightfall.
Sangheili domestic terrorism. Okay, so starting off, you got Locke and a bunch of other Oni agents hanging out, and then they're in the forest of, God, what's the planet's name? Starts with an S.
Was it Cedron?
Cedron, I believe. We'll say it's Cedron if you want to confirm it. I believe.
I'm on it.
I believe Cedron.
Call me the confirmer because I'm confirming it.
And they're targeting a suspicious individual named Axel, which is of a species that we've not seen before in a Halo franchise.
It's also the name of Thor's illegitimate son.
Or a guy that plays a guitar.
Thank you guys. And then while they're trailing him through the forest of
Cedra.
Yes, Cedra. They are
guitarist?
I got mixed up again.
Anyway, so
they're in the forest of Cedra, trailing this alien that Austin told me the name of the species, but it's
Yonhet.
Yonhet. It's a slave species, apparently.
Supposedly part of the Covenant. We never saw them until then.
Yes, that is the only time I believe, unless it's somewhere in a book, we don't see this species ever again.
Austin, can you pull up a picture for me?
It's horrifying, actually. It's truly. It looks out of place for Halo.
They look like they're from Star Wars.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Talking about this creature, and I don't know what this thing is.
Yeah, I was thinking more Star Trek. Star Wars works as well. But as they're trailing Axel in the forest of Cedra, a Covey dropship comes down. And they're like, okay, well, this obviously can't be good news. So Locke orders his team to kind of like go get good positioning. And then all of a sudden, I believe it's a zealot again that comes out of this dropship. And then Axel gives this, I guess a bomb to a certain degree. It's a bomb.
It's a biological weapon.
Yes. And then it was a zealot again, right?
Dude, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was a zealot. Yeah, it doesn't look right.
I've got 2 things of what this looks like, and both are from Star Wars. I see Snoke here.
I see Snoke.
And for some reason, I kind of see Plo Koon.
See me, I just see the aquatic species because there's 2 different ones. There's the
like
freaking
fish.
It looks like to me like almost like a Mon Calamari.
It doesn't look like something that belongs in Halo. And I guess they were maybe trying to do something unique, at a unique character, but whatever. But again, Covey dropship Axel hands off this biological weapon to I'm almost certain it's a zealot. To carry out an attack on, was it a mall?
It's like a shopping
Yeah,
center.
it was like a public shopping
Huge
center.
public area.
Yeah. And the CGI on this looks absolutely horrible. Like this big Sangheili zealot just walks into this mall. And Locke is understanding like, yeah, this can't be good. He has something there. We have to go trail it down. He confronts this zealot. I'm going to keep calling it a zealot until someone proves me otherwise.
There's only one person here that can do that. So
yeah, I guess so. And tackles the zealot, unloads a mag on him. He just kind of shakes it off. And then this zealot falls over the rail and detonates. And this is where like you think, well, I guess detonates, quote unquote, where you think you're expecting an explosion.
It's a zealot.
Thought so. And instead of like, a giant explosion that you'd expect, it sends kind of like a giant red shockwave. And someone from the team that was pursuing this zealot falls ill. And you can see, I believe it's like a black, veiny, like mass type deal that starts traveling up the body. And they're like, okay, we don't know what's going on. One of the other team members goes up to this lady and touches her, and it spreads to her as well. So it's a
No.
Venom.
No, it's not venom. No, it's a biological weapon, and it's spreading from person to person. And at this point, they go bring the two that are infected back to a lab, and they find out eventually like what's causing this and where they need to go to continue to make sure this doesn't happen again.
So who hit the humans with this? The Covenant, you said, or
What was it?
so who used this weapon again?
So this would technically fall under something like Jewel Mdama's Storm Covenant.
Yeah, it was definitely Storm Covenant.
Still, I've never really pictured the
This
Covenant.
is right before Halo 5.
Okay. But still, I've never pictured the Covenant as a biological weapon.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the Covenant. This is Jewel Mdama's Storm Covenant.
Storm Covenant, it's different. Remnants, it's the Covenant that's introduced to you in Halo 4.
Still Covenant.
It's not the same.
No, it's
No,
not
it's
the
not.
same. It's not the same.
Still, it's the same soldiers. Same
It's not.
rules,
No.
same morals.
No.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Not even a little
Nope.
bit.
No,
Even
it's
the
different.
same soldiers.
I mean, they're the same soldiers, but they decided to go and follow someone else that's much more tyrannical and much more insane.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
The original Covenant were religious.
Honorable.
Yeah, like to an extent honorable, I guess.
They had an honor system.
No, they did. They did.
Jewel Mdama didn't.
No. I forget. There's a story. There's a story of an elite that caught. I want to say it was like Johnson, some of his like a prior like one of his prior squads caught them with their pants down, unarmed, and this elite let them get armed before he killed them.
That was the Arbiter.
Well, that was
Vadam.
Yeah, it was still Vadam.
Yep.
And it was just random Marines, wasn't it?
Yep. Just a barracks. He attacked them and
He let them get loaded up and
let them get
armed,
loaded up.
and then he killed them after he let them.
all of them.
Yes.
Are there brutes in this movie?
No,
No.
the Storm Covenant doesn't have brutes
Why not?
because they're not the Covenant, Connor.
Why not have brutes?
They kind of went off and joined their own little thing. It's a small thing. You might not know about it. They're called the Banished.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the fucking Banished.
So anyway,
The bomb went off.
I have
A few.
questions. I have questions. Leave me alone, all right?
so here's my deal real quick. Oni is stupid. They gotta be dumb. Because why would you even let anyone wearing armor like that? Like, first of all, the Zealot armor, like permutation. You know what it looks like. Why would you let a Zealot holding a ball enter a very populated center?
I mean, did he sneak in or did they let him?
No, they didn't do anything about him. They were like, I wonder what he's up to.
I don't think they saw him.
Oni was stationed there for a reason. They knew something was up.
I guess.
They knew something was
They
up.
could have been private.
Because they were trying to track down the dude, the freaking Yonhead guy, to track down
Axel.
what was going. Yeah, freaking Axel.
He's got very forgettable.
trying to find out what was going on there.
Yeah.
Like straight up here, trying to find the pilots of this tug that landed there, which in this case was, I guess, the Sangheili,
Yeah.
because he basically took the tug, I guess, right from Halo all the way.
He hauled it on the space black market.
Man, the Didac's gonna be so happy about this one.
Oh my god.
So anyway, everyone dies. Thanks for everyone. Well, I wish.
It would have been better.
See, what ends up happening here is former Spartan 2 Colonel Randall Icahn of Sedron Military is like, you guys need to deal with this problem yourselves.
Impression.
Thank you. And Locke's like, I need you on this mission. He's like, I don't do that anymore.
Something cringy. I don't do that. That's behind.
Yeah. And he's like, you're a former Spartan. Why wouldn't you? He's like, I guess that's a fair point.
Didn't take much convincing.
No. And so they all fly off. They take a pelican all the way to this piece of the Halo ring that they determined is the source of this strange plague.
And it was Alpha Halo, wasn't it?
Yep, the one from Halo Combat Evolved.
It was Alpha Halo.
They have
fragment of it.
Yep, a small fragment. And basically they got to get there to essentially figure out where this thing came from, destroy this portion of the ring, and I would suppose also probably find some way to find a cure or something. But everything goes wrong like immediately because there's freaking worms, baby. There are some freaking Legolo on there.
It's kind of, they're cool. Like it's nice that you get to see like a good like peek into them because you never get too much of it, like an in-depth look. And it's honestly really cool because that movie, like I forget, it's like the first mission of Halo 5 when you're going down there's an elevator you're going down. And you see the Legolo, like the worms crawling down the elevator shaft and form into a hunter. And like, I remember seeing it when I was in 2015 for the first time. I'm like, wow, we've never seen that before. And at the time I had never seen Nightfall. So like the idea is that you saw that scene in Nightfall where the Legolo form and then you go into Halo 5 and you're like, hey, I seen that. That was in the movie.
Yeah, it's the thing from the thing.
And
Yes,
if you're
much.
even an older fan, then you know about from Halo 2 Anniversary, there's a whole terminal about the elite, that the Arbiter that tamed the Hunters, and how the discovery about them being able to form into greater beings was actually like a big deal. So the whole thing about them forming and everything like that, I mean, it's something that you can expect. It's just, it's not done in a way that's scary. I don't know. I don't really find the Legolo very scary. I think
I feel like
I don't like bugs. That's why I do.
I feel like they're underutilized. I feel like we can have so many.
The Scarab says otherwise.
Okay, we have the Hunter and the Scarab.
no.
There's more.
Mm-hmm.
What in the games?
In the games, there's Locust. Almost all of their vehicles have hunter worms in them, but you're talking about specifically fighting worms for some reason.
In mass, I guess.
Well,
Multiple
the problem
worms.
is that worms by themselves can't do anything against Spartans.
There is a scene where Locke grabs one and just
One stick is weak. You get many stick. Not so weak.
Hunter.
I just feel like we could see more versions of Hunters. Like,
Well, Halo Wars 2
Halo Wars
has
2,
has Goliaths.
Yep, there you go.
Massive versions of hunters.
Huge.
They have ranged versions. If you just play Colony, he's a hero in like what, a leader in Halo Wars 2. Basically, all of the army is focused around this concept of everything is worms, and it's just weird.
It's honestly weird that it's like the main bad guy once they get to the Halo ring. Like, I mean, it's unique. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not. The movie in itself isn't that exciting. And like when I was watching it the first time, and I seen it for the first time like years ago to build up the hype for Halo Infinite. I was waiting for something to happen to really like grab my attention, and nothing ever really did, unfortunately.
Yep. I mean, the unfortunate part is that the majority of this story can be kind of condensed down into after they're on the ring. They go to try to find the place to detonate the thing. They have to go on foot. Uh-oh. The Legolo are attracted to electronics. Uh-oh. You have to turn off your armor, which was the thing keeping you cool.
Electronics. That's just... I feel, did they just throw that in there, or has that like been a thing?
I've never known that to be a thing.
I was gonna say,
but it should be noted, Legolo do have an affinity for technology. There are, in fact, believe it or not, like Legolo religious leaders.
just one single tiny worm with a crown.
Yes. Not with a crown, but these things are in the Forerunner Dreadnought, the ship that's powering High Charity, and they could communicate with the Forerunner technology inside of it.
Are you sure they weren't chosen?
I have no idea, man. But they have to survive, and people are eaten, and that maybe we're the real monsters type beat. Some things about why did you bring horses onto the Halo ring?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, there's horses, literal horses. Remember the trailer for Black Ops 2 in 2012 or like 2011, and like there's all this futuristic stuff, and then cut, and you're riding horses in the Middle East with woods. It's the same energy. It's just like, why did you bring horses? It doesn't make sense.
The horses get killed immediately.
Yeah, they die. They die.
All that's left is
where are you?
all that's left is these guys who go there to like farm specific materials from the ring, and they have a tug, and so Locke has to try to get as many men as he can off this ring using those tugs, or just the one tug. They can only hold so many people, which they say can only hold 2. After seeing that end scene, it could totally hold more than that. I'm just saying.
It's just one tugs.
So
it's just one tugs.
I was sitting here going to make the same reference.
No, I made it. If you guys know that reference, shout out to you.
So Randall Icahn, he's the Spartan of the team, ex-Spartan anyway. He's still a little stronger than others, but his bones have been degrafted with metal, and his
degrafted?
Yeah, they took the titanium off his bones. Yeah. They got rid of his augmentations. They took off the titanium.
I've got a titanium in my shoulder here, and I can't imagine that being pulled out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's gonna hold a magnet to you one day.
And de-augmentations are interesting, but he got de-augmented so he could be a normal person, have a normal life, and he sacrifices himself by detonating this nuke. That it's the typical, the countdown can't be activated. I have to activate it myself.
What a guy.
And so he does that. He just
shout out George.
Not want your augmentation.
The nuke was in the museum.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to George.
That's interesting.
It was live.
It was. Goodness, I'd hope not.
Especially since Havoc nukes could actually destroy a pretty decent chunk of a planet. But yeah, they destroyed the thing. They go home, and everything is supposedly just hunky dory. Is there anything about it I'm missing?
And Locke becomes a Spartan.
Is it really addressed in there? I don't.
I thought at the end it was.
Oh,
sounds about right.
Oh, hey, look, there's
or like heavily implied, like it was heavily implied that he became a Spartan. Not only like there's talk of the Master Chief like in the movie. It's just like, oh, he's probably gonna be Locke's inspiration, but no, because of what Icahn did, it's heavily hinted that that's a big part of the reason why he became a Spartan.
Yeah. Locke and Meza watch the ring being destroyed and return to Cedra. While there, Locke walks through the outdoor market in Cedra City. No way. It's called Cedra City. No way it started there.
Reach City.
No way it started there.
Reach City.
Cedra City while in deep thought. In those sequences.
What? That's so dumb.
A final
It's
monologue.
like calling it Earth.
Now, granted, there is such a thing as Earth City, but it's in the middle of like Missouri.
Is it Earth City? Oh my God.
A final monologue from Icahn is heard.
America City.
Death comes to all of us,
Correct.
especially soldiers. It will come, inevitable as the sun. It is only to be feared if you fear what is on the other side of it. If you see darkness in your soul rather than light. In a way, I suppose soldiers are gods. You give your life away so others will live in peace, even if it's only fleeting. The ones who live carry parts of you with them. Your deeds become seeds for theirs. The sacrifice carries forward, and in their final moments as a soldier, you know they will have to answer the same question you did in yours. With your life, would you only create death, or with your death would you create life? That is my question to you, Commander Locke. How will you die, and for what?
Nothing. His helmet is used as arm decoration for Hyperion.
He got used as a trophy on Zeta Halo.
There's like, for real, dude, there better be more to that story, because that'd be so underwhelming. It's sort of like, it would be a very similar moment as to like, if you want to step in my shoes, you have to have both eyes open. It's like a little traumatic backstory to Nick Fury's scar on his eye. It's just a freaking cat.
Gotta love it.
So James gave his thoughts.
Did he? Let's hear it.
Yeah. By the way, Nightfall sucks and Forward Into Dawn is great.
There we go. I was gonna say, Nightfall is it could have been good. Again, just like Halo 5 could have been good. I mean, at least in my opinion. I know right now, it seems like in the moment, a lot of people didn't like Halo 5, but as time went on, a lot of was like, man, Halo 5 wasn't that bad. I'm still not too big on it. I'm just saying, custom games carried it very hard for me.
Genuinely, I just kind of wish that Nightfall didn't have Legullo in it. I would have actually liked it a whole lot more if it really was just environmental danger.
They put way too much focus on the Legullo.
Because
way too much.
It was cool to see them try to survive on this destroyed part of the
I agree.
I didn't argue amongst themselves.
It didn't need to be It just there didn't need to be a focus on the worms as much as I'm okay with them being there, but like there was just a major focus on them for no reason.
Yeah. So James says, here's James' takes. Forward Into Dawn is a great film, especially for its budget. It does an amazing job, almost acting as a perfect introduction to the Halo universe while also acting as marketing for Halo 4. It's a great proof of concept for Halo in live action, and to this day has some of my favorite characters in Halo. And for Nightfall, worms.
Is that it?
Yes.
It's worms.
I just replied with
saw his Arthur Morgan thing.
because he's dying.
James just got done with the Arthur Morgan section of RDR2.
Morgan. Black Lung.
Sorry if you guys haven't finished it yet, but yeah.
It's your fault. It's almost a decade old.
Yeah. 3 years.
All right. So, my friends,
Short.
what are your thoughts on Forward Into Dawn and Nightfall? Give us your replies. Give us your thoughts. If you liked our thoughts today, consider leaving the show a little bit of appreciation. The rating system helps a lot in making this show continue to grow in popularity and makes it so that we get to meet more audience members such as yourself. If you want to meet us, though, JumperScape.com, that's where you're going to find the Discord server, and you can find ways to support us there. And otherwise, tune in on Chatternet if you want to hear more of what we got going on here in the Halo space. And stay tuned for this year, 2025. We have a lot of stuff coming up. And actually, by the time this episode goes live, tomorrow, Stories from Waypoint for January, the first Stories from Waypoint in 2025 will be dropping. Battle for the Blood Moon. You don't want to miss it. Just tune in on anything you listen to podcasts on. Stories from Waypoint. It's going to be great. So we hope to see you there. Otherwise, stick around. We're going to go over to our Patreon and Q&A and all that stuff. And we will see you guys next week. Otherwise, wait for it, because I completely forgot and I'm unprepared and I'm a terrible person. Who really is the Grave Mind? That'll be easy.
His name is Steve.
It's not.
Wait, he's got a name?
Grave Mind.
Okay. His name, I'm calling him.
Okay, actually, Connor, here, I'll help you out, buddy. His name's actually the Primordial.
That's a title.
We'll get to there. So, anyway,
we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you next week with the Grave Mind. Hello, and welcome back to the Patreon segment of the Library Halo Lorecast.
Why is this so
I'm gonna hit him with a welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Howdy, everybody, as you like to do.
Howdy. Everyone, welcome to the Patreon section and the readings.
Yes, I'm kicking off with the reading of the Patreon names. And it reads that.
How many words do we need for this?
Jacob Adlam, Scion Esports, this Default 456, Dark Salad 42, Austin Edwards, Boomerang, Connor, and Shane's pet gym rat. Yes, he is swole too.
I guess we have a rat now, Shane.
I guess we do have a rat.
Hounds of Meath, My Nuts Hurt, Noah Willette, Spartan Dave,
The one, the only, Dick Hammerboy.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, you okay?
Yeah, I
It's not like that hurt.
I tried to add some age to that one.
Man, the library 40 years from now.
If the library's still going 40 years from now,
What's your statement here?
I'll be impressed.
we have to be number one podcast at that point.
Maybe.
How long we've been around.
Depends on if Joe Rogan's still kicking.
How old is he?
Like in his 40s, maybe.
He'd be 80. Okay. So we get on the Joe Rogan podcast and we just promote the out of our own shit.
I think him saying, hey, this is JumperScape from JumperScape.
Oh, beep.
Yeah.
Our stock
Instant.
go up.
The rats are back in the walls, Austin. Uh-oh. That's not good. Cool Blazer. Jerome with a chair. Spartan Book on G156. Stably Unstable Unholy God. Austin says, James, wear your underwear front. Still don't know what that means. Connor Clark. And he's also not here again for that. Dapper Dame Dylan. Festive Clover Cookies. James is disapproving, saying Healy father-in-law. John Dowsett. Lactating Gator. Lactating Milk MT. Nighthawk 25-2. The Arbiter was the worst character.
That's insane. That's
what?
That's rage bait. No, don't buy that.
I wish James were here.
It's rage bait. Ignore
I
it.
wish
It's rage
James was
bait.
here.
It's
You know what? I actually,
They're calling out James.
No, you know what? I agree. You didn't specify which Arbiter. I do think that the first Arbiter is probably
The
one of the
one
worst
that got-
characters.
packed up in Halo Wars by a normal Marine. The worst Arbiter.
The Lactation of Mercy, Thomas Lane, Sky Cairo, Clutch, Durandal, Eva, Flyboy Pfeiffer, Jake Samelli, My Name is Austin, Prophet Lactation, Random Svid, Sanghili Side Boob, Shade Communications, Slab Nuts, Tika Vadamai, Am Superfly, Aussie ODST, Austin Says, The Best Candy Canes Come from Minnesota, Damien Groth, Feral Raccoon, Ginger Boy Headass, Insert Spinning RGB, Halo 3 Rat here in case you couldn't tell, Rat Week has returned.
RGB now.
I guess. Kev Goltalad, Laughing Sam, Meme Lord, Metal Shows Are Really Loud, Moss Actual, My Name is Michael J. Caboose, and I hate taxes.
Metal shows are really loud. That's a good one.
Pity 104, The Chaplain, The Return of the Rat Hive Lord, The Big Moose, Willem Dafoe covered in 5,000 rats, Apple, I Don't Want to Lie for Christmas, Claude Spark 5970, Fish Dough, Garrus Vicarian, Hugh Janus, IMO, Emily won the meme competition, Iskari, James, I'm sorry for calling you strange and weird. He's still not here to hear it. Kiri, Cal, Hooli, Matt, Jeremy, Puppet Emeritus, The Fifth, Sergeant Johnson Stick, and the Communal Rock, Schnoogans, The Rat Whisperer, Spartan Alex 30, UNSC Accuracy by Volume, Vilma, Dickfit. Oh, Wilma.
Do we have to M key that technically?
Probably should. If
I
there's
don't
even
want to.
I mean, no, okay, fine.
How
Then
about,
don't.
how about this? For when you're trying to put the name off, don't censor it. But when you have the realization,
Yeah,
censor it.
that works. Yep. Darren.jpg. And last but never least, Warm Apples Mouse.
For those who tried targeting James with the Arbor stuff, get a little more detailed for next week.
Yeah.
He won't be here next week.
Something's going to happen. He just won't be here.
No, we're going to Raw next week.
Oh my gosh, you're not going to be here. Oh my gosh, James.
So 2 weeks from now,
As you said, me and James are going to be
You're
at
up.
Monday Night Raw next Monday.
Oh my
You're
gosh, Connor, I have to explain the grave mine to you by myself.
Me and James were willing to come in Sunday to do it, but if you guys,
I have a good understanding of what the grave mind is and what.
apparently not what the primordial is. So
Yeah, okay, I did.
Steve.
Okay. This is a title / name.
Do you know, well, let's start here. Did you know that the grave mine is actually several hundreds of thousands of years old?
I knew he was old.
Like 70, 80 years old.
I just old. I don't,
All right, so Q&A time. If you guys start calling in and everything like that, again, 206-278-5795. Call in or text. We'll also react around this time with this stuff.
So you could probably skip the wait with Q&A if you call in or text maybe.
Yeah. Because we have a line. We're actually still mid-December right now. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So how many today? We have a lot of time today.
10 to 15.
I like 15.
Okay, 15. Okay. We're crazy today. Okay, Turbo Furby asks, if you could interview one person who has ever worked at Rooster... Okay, hold on. I think
We answered that one.
that one was not marked.
My answer was bad because I don't follow.
And so it wasn't too big on. I was the guy that covered the achievements.
Yes.
Unlocked and loaded.
The Festive Slipstream asks, Cheyenne, can we hear more random facts?
Cheyenne.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
He is calling his wife, so we don't have dead sound or silence. That's why I'm telling you. There's something.
Hello?
Hey, I need one random fun fact.
About what?
Anything. We've gotten a request of a random fun fact.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. Let me think. So there's this one cave. I don't remember what it's called, and it's not accessible anymore, and it wasn't really accessible to begin with. But there were like these giant crystals in it and stuff, like bigger than people. They found out while they were mining and stuff, and it was flooded, and then they drained it while they were mining, and it's flooded again, which is why people can't go down there. But the other reason people couldn't go down there without wearing like a ton of protective gear is because due to like how the humidity and condensation worked in the cave, you would basically drown from breathing because of how the water would fill up your lungs if you were trying just to breathe in the cave.
Well, I'll just live with the fact that you know that sort of stuff, and I appreciate your contribution.
Yeah, I got that fact from Hank Green.
Of course you did. Okay, well, is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
Hi.
Cool, thanks. All right, so anyway.
Pneumonia the cave.
So there's that. Next up from, I gotta scroll back up because it just sent me all the way back to the bottom.
I just know it goes fast when it does that.
Lactating Chainsword asks, because of the new trailer, if you guys have played any Borderlands games, what was your favorite character to play as? Could be because of build, lore, lines, anything. I have played Borderlands for a total of 30 minutes.
Say I haven't played much.
Let me look up Borderlands.
I played. I know there was more of like a tanky specialist. That's what I always ran when I play with my brother. Don't know the character names, but I haven't played much of it. Usually I was just there to be a second player for him to do his exploits to get good guns, and that's about it. So yeah, whatever there was like a tanky character, that's what I would use.
I usually like to use speedy builds. So whoever's speedy.
The last time I played seriously, I was the commando Axton because he had a turn.
Sick. Keith G077 asks, how would you feel about a Halo Star Wars crossover? Could you imagine a Force-sensitive Spartan with a lightsaber or a Spartan Mandalorian? If it's kind of in a silly way and not really canon.
I was going to say, not canon, that couldn't work. But
I mean, something like that, I suppose.
Maybe like on a mod, like a firefight mod, maybe.
I don't know.
Something in like that.
To be honest, some stuff just doesn't seem like, on an official level, it doesn't seem like it fits together very well. And like there's certain franchises that don't work.
No, it doesn't, but it'd just be for fun.
I'm sitting here shaking at the fact of a Force-sensitive augmented Spartan.
that's fucking scary.
Like not both were fast on their own. Now put them together.
To add the augmentations. Oh
Reaction speed of either one, pretty good. The Spartans got their thing, but add the Force.
Now add the Force.
They're seeing the future.
Next question comes up from the Festive Slipstream asking, in the off chance you guys read this before Christmas, Merry Chrysler. A little off. That was 10 days before Christmas. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
You know what? Happy early Christmas.
I was in the mall today and they had signs for some event that's happening. They didn't say the year. They just said December 21st. And I'm like, that's so close.
Either kind of late or super early.
Right. Next is from Judy Cans asking, Steve Downs and Jen Taylor are coming to my local Comic-Con. What should I ask them if I get the chance?
Have you ever heard of JumperScape Media?
I was going to be real and be like, how are things going with the what is it called? The actor strike.
Oh, okay. I'm like, come on, you can do it.
I don't remember the acronym. Why are you throwing stuff?
Why are you throwing?
Kind of doing some stuff.
You have no room to talk. I watched you flop your phone on the ground like a month ago, like 12 times.
Yeah, but I don't do what he's doing with that.
Ask them if they've heard of JumperScape Media.
Yes, please. Austin and Cheyenne, possibly James. Have you guys read the Percy Jackson book series?
Myself. Oh no, that's fine actually.
No, I haven't, but Cheyenne has, and Cheyenne is a massive fan of Percy Jackson. She's read pretty much all the books.
The movies are good.
I absolutely love that my name was left out.
Mine was too. No, mine was too.
Oh, you weren't in there either.
No,
y'all don't read. Everyone knows.
They know we're not.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, we've crammed it down their throats at this point that we didn't read.
So then we got, let's see, that is 5-6 down. The Xbox Luminary guy asks, if you could interview someone dead or alive, who would it be?
Anybody?
Like right now?
Anybody? Like at all?
Yeah.
George Washington. Mean that with the realist extent.
Do you think he would have any input on the concepts of like the prophets and all of that?
He'd probably hear the word prophet and then give me a spiel about freedom, and I shouldn't be listening to anyone called a prophet.
Ooh, I got a fun one.
I mean, he said anybody. I'm like, he didn't say about what, but I'd want to interview George.
Could also mean fact or fiction.
Oh no, this is a real person.
No.
Diogenes.
Okay, that's a good one. Anyway, I'm just gonna pick Joseph Staten because I'm predictable.
Anyone in history, Joseph Staten.
If you don't know who Diogenes is, look up Salmonella Diogenes.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
He's a great guy. Diogenes was hilarious. I knew about him before Sam made that video, and I loved him for even more afterwards. But
with a bird.
If I were to pick someone that I actually genuinely do want, like I wish I could have spoken to, I would double whammy it. I would need to be in the same room as C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien because they were good friends and I could only imagine the debates they had.
What was the guy's name who made Berserk? I forget his name, but he died recently. I'd love to talk to him.
The next question is from Lactating Johnson, asking WWDDOOTDDDDDIH. For clarification, that's what would Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, do in Halo?
Build a Dimmadome.
I think the last
over Alpha Halo.
I think the IH and all of that should have been left out.
In Halo. Jerome with the chair is up next asking, does Atriox have the best villain introduction in the franchise, books included? If not, then who's better? The best in villain
Books included, I can't speak on.
Books included, there's nothing that compares.
No, his introduction in Halo Wars 2 is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have to go with him.
Yeah, I don't think I can think of any other villains that have anything of that gravity to it. He holds a gravity hammer. Anyway, Damien Cray is asking, do you think Master Chief would be able to resist the One Ring? Okay, Lord of the Rings.
Let's say this.
Oh.
Okay.
He's a man. Is any man who puts it on?
And now here's the thing.
Any living thing.
Any living thing. Any living thing can be corrupted by it. But the difference is that it does affect different people differently depending on what your desires are, because the One Ring basically shows you your deepest desires and promises that you'll get those deepest desires.
Destroy you doing so too.
It will do that as well. And there's some explanations as to how like Samwise was able to avoid being corrupted because he's basically like so pure of heart that it just didn't do anything.
What does this Master Chief really desire? Anything but to have
that would be the thing. It probably would be something about wanting to be like the savior of humanity, or at least humanity being safe.
Well, hold on. That's like his only purpose, though. He wishes for humanity to be safe. There goes his entire purpose.
Exactly.
That's like so contradicting for him.
So like,
maybe like wishing upon like a moderate threat that he could easily quell in like every 5 years or something like that.
I don't think the ring would get that specific though. I think it would probably just give him these desires. It would corrupt his thinking because like Master Chief would be susceptible to it.
That's the I mean, well, also looking at it this way, knowing the Master Chief, he would probably be well aware that like his purpose would be non-existent if he wished for humanity to be always safe. But he'd also be willing to make that sacrifice and be miserable and feel empty for the rest of his life as long as humanity is safe. That is also very on brand for him. So I think he would probably wish for that.
I think pull him out for recruiting.
Bro's just a celebrity. Just use him for marketing at that point. I mean, you don't need recruiting. Humanity's safe. You don't need a military. You don't need a one world government.
You need police.
No, humanity's safe.
Not from itself.
So Cool Blaze 32 asks, opinion on Bill Nye the Science Guy? Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science.
You don't like Bill?
Yeah, he's a sellout.
I would agree. But here's the thing, we're not talking about Bill Nye the guy. We're talking about Bill Nye the Science Guy.
We're not talking about Bill Nye, just the normal.
We're talking about the character.
When he was on that big old TV stand with the wheels.
Yep.
That was prime.
Prime
Bill Nye was on an unstoppable run.
Because Bill Nye the Science Guy is not Bill Nye the guy. Nighthawk 2552 is asking, I'm going to piggyback off the last one. Would Master Chief be able to beat the Witch King and Sauron in a 2v1?
What does he do against magic?
Well, that's the thing is that it would depend because we would have to have a couple things happen in order to do things like defeat the Witch King. Because
Sauron, was that the pointy crown guy? It's been years.
Yes,
he's a Master Chief's a dude. He can't win.
Well, that's the thing is that Sauron can be defeated. You just have to find a source. I have a feeling that Master Chief will be able to find the source of the power of both Witch King and Sauron. Plus, they're locked into melee combat. They can do magic, but Chief is fast.
Yeah. But he's not taking out. Who's the other guy again? Sorry.
Witch King.
He's not taking out the Witch King. Just simply because of hacks, basically.
Well, it is possible to take out the source of power because that's how he was defeated.
No, I thought the one woman shot him with an arrow.
No, she was like, "I am no man," and then like stabbed him in the face.
Yeah, I am no man.
After his source of power was destroyed, the thing that made him like he became mortal, and then she dealt the final blow.
Like I said, it's been years.
Yeah, we're watching them right now. A question from Air Dot asking, first off, I would like to say, just call me Dot. The Air part is too difficult for the American language to pronounce right, so just let it lay. Thanks. First of all, fight me. I will pronounce your name. If I'm doing it wrong, just tell me how. I've met more difficult people. Thank you. I can pronounce my Korean buddy's name, Soneg, with the weird L in the back of the throat. I got this, all right? Just give me clarification. Don't just doubt me immediately, you wee bastard. Anyway, now, this is not a question, but I would like to wish the whole JumperScape community a Merry Christmas, and I hope you all are doing fine this holiday.
Oh, well,
and a Happy New Year.
It's a little early for that, but
Cut the list if this is too long. What do you guys think would be the preferred alcoholic drink of the following characters? Master Chief.
Modelo.
Jim Beam. Just some straight Jim Beam.
It would be a whiskey.
Yeah,
I gotta say it's a whiskey.
It's definitely some whiskey.
Yeah. Arbiter.
Some vodka.
I gotta
clear.
I gotta say whiskey.
Just say whiskey for all of them.
Didact.
Whiskey.
Fireball.
Bourbon.
Coloring goes.
I thought you were saying whiskey. I thought your joke was you were saying whiskey for everybody.
Gravemind. Whatever everyone else is having.
That's a good point. he has social anxiety, so he's like, I'll have whatever he's having.
If this guy over here is having whiskey, he's gonna have a whiskey.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Now, I could say whiskey with this.
Yeah,
Whiskey. Cortana. Probably whiskey.
Vodka and Sprite.
I'd say vodka for Katana. I don't know why she did
White Claw.
I didn't want to go there. I was thinking it. I didn't want to go there.
She's a twisted tea gal.
She's a twee gal.
Atriox. I'm going to probably go for like a single malt whiskey.
Yeah, bourbon or something. What's so funny?
I am doing the whiskey thing.
Are you?
Yes.
You looked at me funny when you said...
Because I was trying to detract away from it.
No, you said didact and I said whiskey. You look at me like I committed a sin. I'm like, is that not what you're doing?
Long Island iced tea.
For who?
Atriox.
Oh, no, God.
Because he's chill as rucked, dude.
That's kind of what...
Merch available on JumperScape.com. Check out Connor's design. It's really good.
It's pretty chill.
It's pretty awesome.
Shout out to 3 Dots.
Truth. Truth doesn't drink.
No.
He's too devout.
He drinks the truth.
Yeah. I could see him making like coffee and like spiking it with something though.
Mercy. He drinks himself out of old age. Regret.
Definitely a shit ton of Miller Lite. You can't be named Regret.
There, Miller went in.
You can't be named Regret and just ram a bunch of beer.
I'm just trying to think of the most like sugar filled drink there is that's out there.
Vodka Monster.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Vodka Monster.
Sorry.
That is straight regret because you're going to wake up the morning with the worst headache.
Assuming you wake up.
All right, Sergeant Forge. I'm going to have to go for any light beer nearby.
Yeah, that checks. Yeah, I'd definitely say some type of lighter beer.
Halsey. She would definitely be the, she loves coffee, so she probably would be the type to drink. What are those called? They're like the...
I can see Halsey with champagne.
I was going to say like a martini or maybe like a wine.
But I want to make fun of the fact that she drinks so much coffee. She drinks so much coffee that there are coffee stains on the Halsey's journal that you can get.
Oh, in that case, martini espresso.
That's what I was thinking of. Go. That was it. Those things are delicious. And lastly, Yap Yap the Destroyer.
Bro's just taking shots of Kettle One. Bro's just straight drinking Kettle One.
He is licking the floor of the pong game.
Ew.
That's all the characters. He tops it off with one last question. Do you guys think that assassinations should be back? Yes.
Yes.
I don't get why they were taken out. Other than time constraints.
We all ask these questions all the time.
Well, here's the thing. There's footage in the beta. You can see bots
Yeah.
doing animations for assassinations, and they were never fully added. You can go to the beta. You could probably go now, and if you watch out of the corner of your eye, they initiate these animations, and then they stop. Like they were put in the game, and they were yanked out.
Mm-hmm. It's wild. AirDot asks again a different question. I have often wanted a kill cam like system for Halo multiplayer like the one that COD uses. Is that something that Halo could have used instead of just normal respawn time? Halo 4 and Halo 2 Anniversary, you have not played.
So Halo 4 had it.
Fun.
I forgot H2A had it, but I knew
Yep.
Halo 4 did.
It's off the Halo 4 engine.
Yeah.
So I will say, horribly useless. Kill cams in Halo don't work for the sheer fact that your presence on the battlefield is so much more important than it is in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about characters who take forever to die and are utterly essential for objective.
Think about it this way: if you go play Call of Duty, if you go play ranked, I don't believe there's a kill cam. You have there's a respawn timer in Call of Duty ranked. It kind of like the same as Halo. Like you don't die and you respawn immediately. There's a reason they don't implement a kill cam.
Honestly, how often do you even catch yourself watching the kill cam?
When something stupid happens. Just when something really dumb happens to me.
Yeah.
Or if I'm trying to see if someone's cheating.
Like if I'm running out of spawn and I get hit from a tomahawk from behind.
Like
me.
where the hell did that come from? Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Off the roof, off the car, off the ground 3 times and into my back.
2 more questions to go.
Yeah.
This one's from Tragic Solitude. What is your preferred game mode to play on in both Halo and Call of Duty? Okay, well, in Halo...
Call of Duty Zombies.
Fair. In Halo, if I'm going to play any mode... Honestly, for some reason, CTF has become a big favorite of mine.
CTF is very fun.
I've played it so much, and I remember thinking it was so dumb when I was a kid when I would watch my brother play Unreal Tournament. I thought it was just a really dumb mode, but I slowly fell into it more and more.
See, what's the capture the flag, but Fiesta and
Husky Raid.
Husky Raid for me.
That
Husky
stuff's
Raid's
fire.
fun.
Call of Duty, honestly, I don't know
Just
why,
zombies.
but I just really like Hardpoint.
No, Hardpoint is like the
Hardpoint's
best mode right now. Hardpoint is and that's like the best mode in comp because then there's Control, S&D, and Hardpoint.
Shout out to Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
I'm surprised headquarters isn't as big.
It's very hard to implement that into comp. They took out Domination years ago.
But even in like normal COD, why not have it?
Honestly, Domination is kind of surprising. It seems like it's probably easy to make it ranked.
Yeah, but they took it out because a lot of the pros find a way to exploit it.
You can exploit freaking Domination.
Spawn traps.
Oh.
Your spawns don't flip unless your flag is taken.
Yeah, Halo doesn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although then again, Halo has a different consideration there. Halo can just have you spawn next to enemies because you have a little bit of barrier between you and death.
Call of Duty ranked is very, very big. Other than Search and Destroy is very, very big on spawn manipulation, especially on Hardpoint. That is very crucial.
You said a phrase one time we were playing. I'm like, yeah, I guess that is now. And you said spawn manipulation's a skill now.
It is.
And I hate that. I hate to even think about
You
it.
got on Hardpoint, first point, middle of the map, you're here. Other things where your feet are.
Mhm.
You play here. P2 is on that side. Loop around. You're in their spawn. They spawn over you. Flip the spawns. Yeah, that's you got to know where the points are. That's all there is to it.
On Nuketown's about the only map I could heavily even
Oh god, Nuketown is a
do anything with that. It's like, oh, just don't go past this part of the house.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
Next up is from Slapnuts asking, heads up, this question contains a bit of spoilers for the book Legacy of Onyx. Do you guys care?
Oh,
Go ahead.
no.
Okay.
Whatever shall I do?
Watch out. In the book, the main character goes to a school that has humans, elites, and grunts in attendance as faculty. If you guys weren't to enroll at the age you were when you were in high school at that school, how do you think your experience would go? James would be hanging out with the Sangheili teacher every day.
Well,
I would probably be hanging out with the grunts because I was like that.
I think I'd be done with sports at that point. Unless aliens aren't allowed.
I mean, the brutes would take you in.
Yeah, but like, why?
Big.
They're like so much bigger and stronger than.
They want you to be big like them.
I'll try.
I'll try. How about you, Shane?
Give me some augments.
Okay. I want to say I'll go hang out with the kid yard, but that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Said it like them.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna add in 2 more questions because
I'll go hang out with the. Oh my God! Hold on. It'll hit me.
You got this.
Huragok.
There. Oh wow.
I'll go hang out with the Huragok.
Oh dude, if the superintendent of the school isn't a Huragok,
I was gonna say. I was gonna call them the engineers, but I'm like, no, I know the name. Just give me a.
Yeah, I would hang out with the brute. So
yeah,
we know.
We just sit there, simply talk about simple things,
Monkey,
and laugh.
Shout out to way back when Connor first showed up, and one of the first big debates he ever was in was between James and him on who would win in a football match, brutes or elites.
I mean, I said brutes. I'd have to agree. I think the brutes would win.
The brutes would have a hard time on defense, but I honestly,
I don't even think they'd have a hard time on defense. They're fast too. You ever been charged by a Halo 2 Berserker? They're fast. They're very fast.
But yeah, I'm running power every play.
Yeah.
2 more to go. I'm adding them on. Turbo Furby is asking, if you play any Fallouts, what's your favorite power armor? T51 is the only right answer.
Not me.
The T51.
I guess if I did, it'd be the T51.
I'm gonna have, I forget the name, but I'm gonna have to go with the
T51.
No, it's like XO something. Looks all futuristic.
I'm gonna pick the T51.
The Fallout guy will know here. It's in Fallout 4. The X something. I don't know.
He'll know.
Find it till late game.
And last question from Tragic Solitude again, asking, any of you guys wrestling fans? WWE, TNA, AEW, favorite wrestlers? We're about to go watch WWE after this. So that's why we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
And as for favorite wrestlers, yeah,
LA Knight. The LA Knight's amazing right now. He's really, really good.
I'm also like the only fan of Bronson Reed.
His Twitter is insane. Some of his tweets are criminal.
I love Bronson.
They're so funny. RIP, his ankle was hanging on by a tendon on Survivor Series. I like Jay. I like Roman, and I like Cody. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, yep.
I'm sure you two are awaiting my answer.
Oh, this.
Hold on, let me explain myself.
I've seen some videos now. I'm behind you on that.
It was awesome, but it's all the stuff backs. He would hurt everybody. Yeah, but
do you have evidence of that?
Yes. He would hurt everybody.
So Connor, would you like to reveal?
Yes. So I got into this wrestler way after his.
Just say his name, because the wrestling fan. I'm telling you, the wrestling fan are like, oh my God, people who know wrestling.
I'm building it up for them.
By the way, we watch WWE exclusively.
So
yes, no TNA or AEW.
I got into this wrestler way after his prime. Like, I'm like, look at this. I show him the Shane, like, this guy's cool. This guy's awesome. He's been out for 2 years at that point. He was
Ryback. Speed. The big guy. Bro's a big old meathead who couldn't not hurt. He would always hurt anyone he was in. No one wanted to, that's part of the reason why he left WWE.
He was too strong.
No
one could handle his
power. A literal Neanderthal.
Didn't he try to slam Punk and he just hit him on the edge of a table?
He tried to dump him. He was on the stage.
Either you try to do that or you're dumb.
He tried. He had him in a military press, pulled him over his head and dumped him like that. And if you go crashing through the table, it doesn't hurt that bad. But like his leg caught the table and he like bumped his head and his upper back on the ground. Like he completely botched it.
Also his leg hit the table and his body.
Did you watch that? Have you watched that clip?
Oh, gosh.
It's probably been a while, but I'm assuming his leg hit the table and his body just kept going.
Yeah.
He just missed. He missed.
Ryback completely missed a point blank shot.
He had him up and just dumped him, which would have been fine, but he hurt him.
Well, maybe he should have ate some more.
With that being said, my friends, thank you guys so much for listening today. JumperScape.com if you want to get plugged in or support us. We very much enjoy this sort of conversation. Maybe you wanted a WWE episode about us talking about stuff like that. Tune into Terminals. We might just have that happen.
Great.
If we have a WWE episode, just know it is going to be tomfoolery.
It may end with someone getting RKO'd into this table right here.
And it won't be me.
So thank you guys again for listening. We'll see you guys next week when I try to explain to Connor who the Grave Mind is. I'll see you there.
Library was produced and published by JumperScape Audio. Funding was provided by our fantastic patrons on Patreon. If you enjoy the show and wish to support JumperScape's future projects or get some sweet benefits, join our Patreon at patreon.com/JumperScape or become part of this truly special community at discord.gg/JumperScape. Thank you for your listenership, and we hope you enjoyed.